like celebrations like this one?
Oh yeah. No, it's a nice celebration. It's good to see everyone from our club here. It's a really good feel around our club at the moment. It's really connected in all departments and Leagues Club as well. So it's nice to have everyone out and spending time together before what's a really important round for our club.
The success you're having, do you embrace it? How do you handle it?
I think we just enjoy little moments we have, little wins along the way. Success is what happens at the end of the year. At the moment, we're just enjoying being on the journey, and it's nice just celebrating the little wins along the way, and our guys are doing that, but when it's time to get back to work, they're working really hard.
We spoke to Critter before, and he was sort of saying you do have to enjoy these moments, but is it hard not to get carried away though?
No, I think when you win NRL games, it's hard to win NRL games, and we've been through tough times, and it's important when you do have good wins and have good periods that you really enjoy it. So our guys enjoyed it in the moment on the weekend. We had a nice celebration this morning, but they're about to go back into a wrestle session and start working hard, so hopefully they didn't eat too much.
Reed's been copying it, deservedly, or are you happy with what he's doing?
Reed's been at the forefront of us building our identity over the last couple of years. We've worked really hard on building a work ethic, connection and a competitiveness, and Reed's at the forefront of that. So we're really happy with how he's going. He's worked really hard on his discipline over the last 12 months, and I think he's come a long way. And I said the other day, he probably had one play in that 80 minutes that he probably got slightly wrong, which I reckon there was a few other players that probably got a few plays wrong during the day as well. But Reed's just at the forefront of that at the moment. But if he continues to work on his discipline and he's building his game, then he's going to be really important for us throughout the season.
So there were a few headlines that labelling Reed a liability. I was just wondering what your thoughts on that and how fair you thought those types of headlines are.
I'm not going to comment on headlines. I don't read too much into them. So I'll comment on Reed and say we're really happy with the way he's going. He's worked really hard on his discipline, and he'll continue to work hard on that.
Speaking of discipline, sorry. Have you had to speak to any players, or will you speak to any players after the NRL issued their crackdown?
We showed the players the email this morning, but it's common sense really. Obviously no one goes out there to attack the head and neck area, and but accidents do happen. So we'll just keep sticking to our processes. We want to be a more disciplined team, and we've done that throughout the start of the season. But the penalty count on the weekend wasn't where it needs to be, and we're going to be working hard on what we can control with that. There was a number of calls that I thought were 50-50, but we'll control what we can control and make sure we get better every week.
As an ex-player, do you ever worry about the effect that football's had on you?
On me?
Yeah, or just on generally sort of the head knocks and things like that?
Not really. I'm just so grateful for the game. It's given me everything I have. So, when I was young and dreaming of being in positions like this, we've done anything to do it. So, I'm just really grateful to be here. Grateful we've got a really good group to work with, and we'll continue to enjoy the journey.
I was going to say, do you think the note to clubs is justified? Do you think there have been too many high tackles in the last couple of weeks?
No, it's not for me to say, to be honest. There might have been on the weekend, but I think everyone's doing a really good job over the last few years of limiting that high contact and doing the best they possibly can. But we also play physical sport, contact sport, and accidents do happen. So, we all love the game, we all love the sport, and that's why we're here. And as long as we're making it as safe as we can for the players, that's the main thing. But we are all trying really hard.
Do you worry that there might be an adverse direction now that the warning's been sent out?
We've got to prepare for anything, I suppose. So if there is more sin bins or more penalties, we're preparing for that. But we're also preparing just to keep getting better as a football team and not worry too much about what might happen, just worried about what will happen. And we've done that pretty well in the first 4 rounds.
So you've heard the 8 different nations will be represented in your team over the weekend. What impact does that have?
The multicultural round is a really important day for our club. We represent a really multicultural area, and we're very proud of that. There's a lot of energy around our team from all different cultures, and we really celebrate that. And from an individual point of view, our guys get to represent their heritage and their ancestors, and it's something they really look forward to. And they come out this morning in their dress and really enjoy these occasions. And it's cool that we get to play at a core in front of a big crowd, and we get to celebrate those heritages on the big stage.
You made your debut almost 20 years ago. The sport's come a long way, but what can be done better?
I things can always be done better, but I think the game's in great shape. It's such an enjoyable game to be part of. I think it's more popular than it's ever been. And I think the game's getting better every year. So I think if we continue to do that, we'll continue to be the #1 sport in Australia.
You said just talking about the Six Tails and the success they've had over the last couple of weeks. Can you see a pathway starting to emerge and some of those players might eventually be Bulldogs and NRL players?
Yeah, definitely. Our guys have put a lot of investment into the pathway systems at the Bulldogs, and the Silktails has been another addition to that this year. And to see them have their first 2 wins over the last couple of weeks, and just the improvement in their game. We've been being sent videos from over there in Fiji, and that's a really important piece for us moving forward. And I think Kick shines a light for all the Fijian kids that want to become Bulldogs, and we've got some guys in our junior grades that are doing a great job of that at the moment too. So it's definitely a pathway for those guys to come into our system, and we're really proud of the way they're playing at the moment.
Mann's playing his 200th game this weekend. How important has he been in the success of this club and the rise over the last couple of years?
Yeah, look, he's only been in not even 18 months yet, but he's had such an important role to play in our club. His leadership and his experience has just been such a benefit to us as a coaching staff, but also as a playing group. So, he's a really important part of our club. Our guys love him, and we want to honour that by preparing well and playing well this weekend.
Sarah, you said last week that you'd learn more about the team after you take on a club that's consistently in the top 4.
Yeah.
You kept them to 1 try, and you're now 4-0. What did you learn?
I learned that we can compete in big games. It was a really good game, really good intensity, and I just saw that we could compete for 80 minutes and put ourselves in a really good position to win those style of games. But I also learned there's a lot of improvement in us as well. So we've looked at some of that this morning. What wins us games in round 4 is not going to win us games at the back end of the year. So we need to keep chasing that improvement. But honestly, really happy with the way the guys went about the game on the weekend, and gives us a really good template for what we can do moving forward.
How encouraging is that? Because remember last year, you really pushed Melbourne and Penrith on the road. But to take that next step so early in the next season, actually beat these top teams, how encouraging is that?
Yeah, it's encouraging. But I think both teams, Sharks and us, will go away from that, seeing a lot of ways we can get better, and that's what it's all about. It's about who can improve the most during the season and put yourself in good stead at the back end of the year. But those games last year where we went against top 4 opposition and held our own gave us great confidence, and I think we'll get a lot of confidence out of the weekend. But without looking too far ahead, we've got an important game on Sunday against Newcastle, and whatever happened last weekend will mean nothing if we don't go out there and perform the same way this weekend.
Cam, you'll be without Satili. You look at that tackle, what do you think?
I didn't think it was high, I didn't think it was that late, and I didn't think it was a shoulder charge. So, trying to explain to Satili how he could be better next time was tough, but it is what it is. He'll have a week out, and he'll get to work on some of the stuff he missed in pre-season and get himself ready for our round 7 game against South.
So it's hard to understand why he's not playing?
Yeah, it is. Can't say too much about it, but it is confusing at times. But it is what it is, so we'll get on with it.
Kick said he's hoping to be back after the bye. Can you give an update on some of the other guys like Jacob and Verta?
Carraz is a slight chance of playing this weekend, but we'll see how he goes with training this week, and Berto and Kicks both looking likely for after the bye in round 7. So starting to get a few troops back, but I've been really impressed with the way the guys who've come into those positions have played. Bailey Hayward's just been outstanding in the role he's played at 5'8" since Berto's been out, and Preston and Curran have really stepped out in Kick-Out's absence, and have guys on the bench, Jack Todd and Harry Hayes, who've come up to the NRL and showed they're going to be long-time Bulldogs players. It's been really exciting for us as a club.
There's been debate in the past over themed rounds in the NRL, particularly in Pride Week. Do you think that multiculturalism should be something embedded in every week, or is it good that there's this round?
Oh, you're getting probably too deep for me at the moment. I'm just here to coach the football team. So we love multicultural round. Our club represents a huge multicultural community, and we're very proud of that. And we really love celebrating this week. So we look forward to Sunday taking on the Knights in what we hope will be a big crowd. It's our first game at a call for the year, and really hoping we can get a big crowd out there on the back of our strong start of the season and get some real home crowd support, and hopefully turn around that 10-6 penalty count from the weekend.